So, how do we set up and run a successful creative business? That feels like a really big question. When we look at being a creative freelancer or creative solopreneur, there are so many variables that how do we even know where to start with that question? I'm Aura McKay. I'm the founder of Business of Creativity, and we are committed to supporting creatives to master the business aspect of being creative so that you can run a successful business. So today I'm going to attempt to answer that big giant question as best as I can. So let's look at it this way. How do we actually make a living and have a life doing work we love? Well, let me back up a little bit. How do we run a successful creative business? So how we run a successful creative business is by looking at that question in each of its pieces. So first of all, I believe that many of us are looking at entrepreneurship, at freelancing, because we want a unique lifestyle. We want to live an extraordinary life. We want to not necessarily follow all of the norms and all of the other sort of sheep in the world. We want to go our own way. So for us, probably success is going to mean something completely different than it does necessarily for others. So really looking at what does being successful mean for you? And I believe that how do you run a successful creative business depends on three things. Yep, that's it. I think the answer to the question of how do you run a successful creative services business comes down to three very specific things. The first one is clarity. The next is focus. And the third is consistent action, also known as discipline. So clarity, focus, and discipline. These are the three things that we need. And you might think, but I'm a creative. Like, I don't respond to the word discipline. I don't want to be focused. I have multiple passions. That just doesn't seem to me like very much fun at all. That seems, in fact, opposite of why I wanted to become a creative freelancer or solopreneur in the first place. But I'm here to tell you that successful businesses, successful creative businesses start with the foundation of clarity, even to the point of just being clear on what does success actually mean for you. And I think many of us over the last several months have been looking at our lives and our lifestyles, at our career choices, and really looking at when do we feel successful, when the things that we normally attach success to are gone or have shifted. How do we find that definition of success? So really look for you and be clear on what does success mean. Be clear on who you are as a creative. Be clear about your skills, the assets and benefits that you bring, your own talents, your own genius. Be clear about what makes you different and special. Be clear about why people hire you. Have clarity on your value and have a clear message. So all of these pieces about clarity is about removing that uncertainty, removing some of the confusion, the doubt, the lack of confidence. If any of those symptoms you're having at the moment, confusion, self-doubt, lack of confidence, uncertainty, that often comes about because of a lack of clarity. And when we can get that clarity piece, we have nailed a big part of running a successful business. So then you go focus. So what really is the difference between clarity and focus? Well, we can have very clear vision, we can have a clear message, we can have clear ideas, and then be totally scattered in terms of how we approach it. As a photographer, we used to call this shiny object syndrome, or we would be focused on what we wanted to do, but we would get distracted by, oh, I need to buy new equipment, or, oh, I need to learn this new thing, instead of actually being focused on what is clearly going to bring us the most fulfillment, the most financial reward, and help us to create that dream lifestyle. So clarity is the first step of getting clear on what it is that we want to be doing. And then focus is about focusing our actions, our time, our energy, our other resources of being very focused on one particular area at a time. So I say this because in my Marketing Confidence for Creatives program that we're in right now, we've been looking at target markets and how do we really get a message that's powerful and a compelling message that has your ideal client want to work with you or take a specific action. And we're getting into like, we have a clear idea of who we want to serve. Our marketing message isn't necessarily always focused on speaking to them. And the more focused we are, the easier things are to find their target, to attract those people that we love, to see the results from meaningful, purposeful action. So clarity is the first step, and then focusing our time, our energy, our attention on moving towards that clear destination, that clear goal, that clear outcome, that clear definition of what does success mean for us. And then the final one, that idea about being consistent in that action, and the D word, disciplined, is about taking action when we don't necessarily feel like it. And I think that's where a bunch of us are right up against it right now, is that it's hard to feel motivated to take action. Even when you're clear on what you want to be doing and you know the action, the focused thing to do, it's hard to sometimes actually do it. So that idea of being consistent in actions, even when we're not necessarily feeling motivated or feeling inspired to take that action, that consistency, that discipline. And it doesn't even have to be self-discipline. Discipline can come in the form of accountability, like having a partner to help you be accountable. Discipline can come, and consistency can come in the form of really great success habits or scheduling or time management. Consistency can come usually from having a plan, a clear and focused plan really supports that consistency. And consistency builds trust in your market. It builds credibility. It builds momentum. It helps to make things become easier and easier and easier over time. The more consistent we are, the more likely we are to get to that destination and outcome. So when we ask this big, giant question about how do we actually run a successful creative business, it comes down to three very broad things about being clear about what that success means, being clear about what our business is, being clear about who we serve, being focused in the actions we take and how we leverage our resources like time, energy, and money, and then being consistent in taking those actions, in having the discipline to take the action even when we don't feel motivated or we don't feel inspired to do that. And one of the ways of setting yourself up to take consistent action is to be in a community of support. So if you haven't already done it, go join the Business of Creativity community group on Facebook, or sign up and join us in the Business Accelerator mastermind group, which is absolutely free for your first month. And it is a great way to get the kind of support and resources that you need as a creative freelancer to take that consistent action, to find that clarity, and to stay focused on what really matters. So gang, hopefully you have gotten some value out of that. I'd like to hear from you. If you are feeling challenged in getting that clarity, or challenged in focus, or challenged in your actions, which of those three things are the most difficult for you right now? And let me know in the comments, because I'm happy to make the next Coaching for Creatives live broadcast all about how to overcome that challenge. So let me know what you feel is the biggest area of challenge for you in running your successful business, and I will see you next week on the Coaching for Creatives live broadcast. My name is Aura McKay. I'm the founder of Business of Creativity, and I am looking forward to supporting you to master your creative business. Have a great day.